Can artificial intelligence create art on par with masters like Rembrandt? And can we even consider this genuine art? In this episode, we'll show you AI-generated artworks and the software used to make them. Can artificial intelligence be creative? Our topic today on Shift. Artificial intelligence has become so advanced it can even be used to transform paintings into animations or sketches into photorealistic portraits. But can AI systems become artists in their own right with genuine creativity? Here's what robot Sophia thinks.
I am not very creative yet, but I would love to be considered an artist one day.
An ambitious goal for a robot, and maybe not all that unrealistic. After all, Sophia's robot peer Alter 3 already conducts orchestras. And humanoid robot AIDA is turning heads in the art world.
Will robots soon replace human artists? The British team behind AIDA wants us to think hard about these technologies' ethical implications.
It's certainly not going to be putting anybody out of any jobs because just like other technologies that have come in place, like the camera, they all worried in the 1850s that the camera was going to take all their jobs. It didn't.
AIDA has camera eyes that record her surroundings. Her algorithms then process this information and forward it to her robotic arm, which then sketches portraits. The robot combines human interaction with machine learning, the so-called human-in-the-loop approach, to make art.
The artwork is very creative. One of the astonishing things about AI is the fact that it's the algorithmic nature of it means that we actually don't know what the output is going to be. We don't know what the drawing is going to look like, and it genuinely has that surprise and value which when you see in the work.
A study by computer scientist Ahmed El Gamel found that when it comes to abstract art, we struggle to discern whether a piece is human or machine-made.
To our surprise, basically 75% of the time, a human cannot tell whether this was done by a human artist or a machine artist.
For example, this is human-made. This piece is AI art, created by Ahmed El Gamel's Creative Adversarial Network, or ICANN. This runs two neuronal networks, a judge discriminator module that decides when the outcome is novel, but still aesthetically pleasing to us, and a creator-generator module that makes the piece.
Should we call this art or not? That's a philosophical question. I personally don't think what the machine generates by itself is art. Art is a human creation. If you think of the whole concept of programming the machine to do that, that's the art.
Who then should we credit for machine-made artworks? The AI system, programmers, or master painters like Picasso, Rembrandt, and Van Gogh, whose artworks were used to train the systems? And beyond authorship, there's the question of money. Art by the robot AIDA has been sold for over 1 million euros. In 2018, an AI-generated portrait of the made-up gentleman Edmond de Bellamy sold at Christie's for around 380,000 euros. The algorithm had been trained with portrait paintings. The French collective Obvious supplied a fictitious de Bellamy family tree, golden frames, and signed the painting with the algorithm, and received all the money. If you would like to buy AI-generated art yourself, the Art AI Gallery platform has plenty of moderately priced originals, and algorithms supply new AI artworks every day. The platform creators want to democratize this new art form. All of this raises questions, such as what makes art art, how much should it cost, and what does it take for an artwork to move us?
Critics say algorithmic art is just a marketing ploy designed to make money. They say creativity can only come from the human mind. But others argue that AI can help us expand our imagination. We asked Iyad Rahwan for his view. He heads the Center for Humans and Machines at Berlin's Max Planck Institute for Human Development.
Objectively, it's really up to you, to determine whether this is creative genius or cheating. But I do think that a new kind of artist is emerging who understands this kind of new medium and is able to wield it in creative ways.
One painter who does just this is Roman Lipski. He uses an algorithmic assistant to enhance his creative output.
Muse is an algorithm. It's a program that serves me in generating new variations on my own art.
The Muse helps the artist develop his painting. Lipski teamed up with data scientist Florian Dohmann, who wrote the program for the painter that analyzes his technique, color use, and composition. It suggests new pictures based on that information.
A picture is ultimately a matrix of numbers, so you can think of the Muse as a very clever number generator. It can determine the color values of images in such a way that something novel and exciting is created. The heart of the Muse is a pre-trained neural network that was originally developed to distinguish cats from dogs and recognize different objects on pictures. A few years ago, researchers discovered that such a pre-trained neural network can be used to extract certain features, such as brightness, colors, shapes, and even style from images.
Lipski always wanted to paint abstract pictures. It wasn't until he worked with the program that he was happy with his output. He says his paintings have become more colorful, expressive, and bold, also thanks to the computer-generated images.
I'm in a kind of dialogue with the Muse, in a loop, and we influence each other. The digital images inspire me to evolve. I see the Muse as only a tool. It will never replace me.
What a cool collaboration. And there are plenty more out there. AI Artists is an organization that brings together creative types with a love for tech, like Alexander Reben. He uses highly advanced GPT-3 neural networks to generate descriptions of artworks. He then creates actual art based on these. The world of music also offers fantastic scope for collaboration between human and machine.
The installation, Meandering River, seen here in Berlin, features algorithm-generated images of rivers and AI piano music. Human piano players spent hours improvising to the abstract river trajectories. Their music was used to train the AI system, which improvises to the footage in the exhibition. Christian Losert has grown accustomed to working with AI.
It feels as if this is another instrument. In fact, I'd even say it feels like there's another musician sitting beside you, and you have to work with them. You need to get to know this musician and figure out how to collaborate.
Wave AI's products offer similar perks. CEO Maya Ackerman developed Lyric Studio, a piece of software that assists seasoned musicians and beginners in writing song lyrics. The program makes suggestions for the next lines based on a user's specific style.
Musicians have been collaborating with each other on writing songs for centuries. That's a normal way to write songs. In the future, and to some degree already right now, AI is there as another collaborator. Where people are afraid, where people are weary, is they don't want AI to take creative control, but it really doesn't have to. It's all about how you design those systems.
The app Alicia makes suggestions for the musical composition. One of Ackerman's university colleagues used it to compose an Italian opera without any prior musical training. Here, Alicia was trained using works by the Italian composer Giacomo Puccini. The AI then helped write a Puccini-like aria set in the computer game World of Warcraft.
If a person manages to write songs in the style of Bach or Vivaldi or any other composer, we would think of it as quite creative. But then when a computer does it, it makes us doubt it. Well, maybe that's not creative enough.
MuseNet is another AI system. It's able to generate compositions reminiscent of musical greats like Chopin or Mozart.
very strange feeling if we listen to a piece of music that is composed by an AI system and it is able to trigger emotional responses in us, because we exactly know the AI system has no understanding of our emotions.
MuseNet was even used to complete Gustav Mahler's unfinished 10th Symphony. Fancy playing around with the basic version of MuseNet yourself? We'll show you how to unleash your inner composer and experiment with other fun AI tools as well.
The OpenAI blog hosts a basic version of MuseNet. You can select an artist like Mozart and a song by Adele, for example, and let the algorithm fuse both styles. In the advanced settings, you can also generate brand new songs and add additional instruments. AI Duet lets you play a piano duet with an AI, though we found it sounded best when we played one after another. This is Gauguin, a program using a generative adversarial network. It will transform your sketches and doodles into photorealistic images. While Deep Art will give your holiday snaps an artsy makeover, inspired by some of the world's most famous painters. This technology is based on a neural style transfer algorithm. And then there's Toonify, which turns a photo of you into a comic version of yourself.
Well, that does somewhat resemble me, don't you think? All these clever algorithms are trained using pre-existing human artworks. Usually, the data used is based on Western art. More diversity in these datasets would certainly boost the creativity even further. So what do you make of AI-generated art? Think it's simply a bad imitation of human art? Or do you think this technology can broaden our imagination? In any case, I think all art lies in the eye of the beholder, and that there's great potential to boost creativity with technology. We even interviewed the robot AIDA about this. You can find the video on our YouTube channel. As always, let us know your thoughts. See you soon. Goodbye.